Yay! Hello! Hi, everybody, and welcome to our nine questions about nine awakenings. And we're here with Marita, and we're going to be talking all about her spiritual awakening. So, welcome, Marita.
Thank you so much, Nikki. I'm excited to speak with you for a few minutes.
Fabulous. Okay, so we're going to see if we can get this done in nine minutes.
Okay. Oh my God!
So, I
Is
know.
there a prize at
the end? Okay. So, when was your first spiritual experience?
Well, I prefer to think of my experience that's in my mind, that comes to mind, as a mystical experience, and that happened back. I was in high school, so 15, 16, 17 years old, something like that. And what happened was I'd had a fight with my dad, and a fight, like you don't talk like that to your parents kind of a fight. And so I was up in my room sitting on the bed, and I was reading from the New Testament. And literally these words popped up off the page, got huge. And it said, it's from James, whoever knows what is right to do and fails to do it, to him it is sin. Oh my word. Oh my word. Happy sin and all of that, that's another conversation. But that was like that's a mystical experience. And I remember going back and looking at it, and it was all normal again. So it was literally like in that moment where it just came alive.
Wow, cool.
But that said, I remember playing church as a girl. I loved to play church. My parents were from Germany, and they had these little, it's a Duden, D-U-D-E-N, like a dictionary from German to English. And I used that as a little Bible. So when I would sit underneath the dining room table and play church. So it's always been like wired inside of me.
Superb. Okay, great. Okay, so what was your most profound spiritual experience?
Actually, my most profound, they're so personal and they're so sacred. I don't really want to talk about that.
Okay. Do you want to do one that's not your most profound, but one you'd like to share, or would you just prefer to go on to the next question?
Let's circle back. Let's pass that, and then we'll circle back if there's time. How's that?
Okay, fabulous. Okay, so was your sort of awakening difficult or uncomfortable in any way?
Well, I don't feel like I had like this big profound aha. Like I said, I've always had it like wired within me. There have been stages that have sucked, that have been really, really challenging. In terms of my spiritual awakening, that was my divorce, and it was terrible. It was the dark night of the soul for way too long. You know, it wasn't like a 4-week episode. It was a years long searching and looking for something that would work better than what wasn't working.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about that. I think a lot of people have experienced something really bad, but
yeah,
it seems sort of par for the course.
Okay.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah. So what are the benefits that you've had from your spiritual experiences?
Knowing that I'm always connected.
Mm-hmm.
Always connected.
Fabulous. Okay. Have you ever had any spiritual teacher or teachers particularly?
I've had, of course, many over the years. That was kind of a, like, do I single anybody out kind of a question. I think if I were to single out anyone, it would actually be 2 people. And one is D. Gary Young. He is the founder of Young Living Essential Oils. I've always looked to him as not only the scientist that he was and the pioneer that he was, but he was deeply, deeply connected to spirit. And that came through in how he lived his life and what he brought forth into the world and how it impacted me. And then there was a woman she was a channel of the Ascended Masters. And that, again, was another phase of awakening, where bringing me into the awareness of how much support we have on a very, very high level. So I would say that those two individuals have really impacted how I view my life.
Great. Okay. So what spiritual advice would you give to someone who's starting out on their spiritual journey?
I would say follow your curiosity. Take classes that you find of interest, read books that you find compelling, ask questions that take you to a place of wonder. It's just that beginning phase is all about feeding that curiosity and finding what lands the most solid as to what direction you really want to go, in terms of how you want to find your wheelhouse of comfort and how to learn or how to grow.
Great. Okay. So what advice would you give to someone who was further along on their journey?
That's a great question. To go deeper with your inquiry, practice stillness and silence. This particular deep inquiry is where I excel most in terms of how I show up helping my people. But just go deeper. There's always something deeper and more profound to learn if you just focus and go deeper. I'll also say it.
Okay, great. So what key lessons stood out for you? Is there a key lesson that's been really important in your life that you learned?
Yeah, I think it comes up again and again, and it's like the answer is in the answer. That life is a spiral. So a lot of times we're like, God, didn't I just do this? Didn't I just learn this? And the answer is yes, but now you're higher and you're looking at it from a little bit of a different vantage point. And that'll happen again and again and again as we get to a level or a vibration that we can completely diffuse whatever that issue is. So life is a spiral of learning.
Okay, great. Okay, so lastly, what's your favorite spiritual practice and how has it contributed to your spiritual awakening?
What is my favorite spiritual practice? I love ritual and ceremony. I love using my young, they're all over my house, Young Living essential oils into my practice, because that just, one and one in this world is no longer two, it's quantum. So if you're doing a ritual or a ceremony and you add an oil in, it just expands it. And so that's one thing. Using clean food, clean living habits, choosing what you use on and in your body is really, really important. And it can impact it does impact your vibration, which then in turn feeds into your spiritual experience. And again, that's what my business is all about. That's what I'm all about. It's like, I can't separate my purpose and who I am with my business because it's all together. So I would say, how lucky am I to be able to live what I love in this? I just love this kind of work and topic.
Yes, absolutely wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Marita. That was absolutely brilliant. And thank you for being an Emerald member.
Oh, you're welcome.
You take care and have a good evening.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.